Hey guys, how you guys doing? It's Sunday, November 19th. Hoping you're having a wonderful day and honestly a wonderful week. You know, it's the end of the week. This is the weekly update. This is the weekly review where we talk about certain things that happened this week, certain things we've probably already talked about, some things we haven't talked about, but general news that should matter to you. The first thing I want to talk about, something new. The foreign ministers of Egypt, Saudi Arabia, UAE, and Bahrain are having an emergency session of the Arab League, and most people believe that this is to talk about Iran, to talk about Iranian influence in the Middle East, especially as it pertains to Yemen, Lebanon, with Hezbollah, and Syria. Talking about Syria, Israel fired warning shots this week at Syrian military. They said that, you know, this is unconfirmed sources, but according to Israel, the shots were fired at Syrian armed forces that were attempting to build a military post in the DMZ area between Israel and Saudi Arabia. Now, this is something that we've seen this, guys. You know, we've seen Israel take different shots at Syria before. We've seen airstrikes happen in Syria, whether that was on Syrian military or if that was on Iranian military. We've seen it. It's nothing really new at this point. But this week we learned that Saudi Arabia and Israel, you know, officially are working together. We had that leaked cable come out. It showed that Israel and Saudi Arabia are working together to basically take down Iran at this point. It seems like the Arab League altogether as a whole is going to be brought into this cold conflict. We're waiting to see if it's going to turn into a hot conflict at this point. But guys, it just seems like things in the Middle East are spiraling out of control even more. You know, you didn't think it was possible. I didn't think it was possible. You know, oh, dude, the Middle East, could it get even worse? Well, apparently it can. We're gonna change tunes a little bit. Talk about North Korea. We had the defector run across the DMZ. They're not releasing the video of that because they actually do believe that North Korean soldiers did fire shots into South Korea. At this point, that defector has survived. He underwent surgery. They found a bunch of parasitic worms in him. It just shows the average North Korean right now, how they're living, the desolate nation, you know, the famine and the disease, and it's god awful. The Chinese sent a top envoy to North Korea. A lot of people hoped and prayed and hoped a little too much that Chinese envoy would actually produce something fruitful from that meeting, and it seems like it was, you know, obviously nothing came of it. No door really was open. North Korea stated that, you know, nukes are off the table, as they've stated before, missile programs off the table if they were brought to the table, and the only way for them to be brought to the table is if the U.S. Military exercises in that region stop, and we all know that's just not going to happen. We heard reports that China and Russia were having backdoor meetings talking about the THAAD systems that are in South Korea, the missile defense systems that are in Japan at this point, and how that just destabilizes the whole region. We've talked about this. This is why I was such a proponent saying I don't think China is on the, you know, U.S. and her allies' side in this whole North Korea situation, because they don't want the U.S. military there. You know, they're just like North Korea. They want to be the big dog in Asia, and if a U.S. military presence is there, it just doesn't help with the whole situation. And then last thing I want to talk about real quick is, of course, Erdogan and Turkey, and how they keep on, you know, pivoting away from NATO and pivoting close to Russia. We've seen missile deals, we've seen different diplomatic gestures between Russia and Turkey, and at this point it really seems like Turkey is pivoting on the edge of leaving NATO. NATO needs those bases in Turkey, or basically they lose their foothold in the Middle East, and you know, Russia will come into that vacuum, guys. So it's something we're gonna have to keep on watching, just like with all these different situations going on. As more information comes out, I'll let you guys know. We'll talk about it, we'll discuss it, I'll make a video. Guys, it's Sunday. Hoping you have a wonderful rest of your weekend. It's almost over. Have a few beers. It's Sunday. Say a few prayers, because the world needs them. And as always, keep your eyes to the skies. Thanks, guys.